Okay. Oh, my eye is on fire. Okay. I do need to do one thing. Give me that. Perfect. Alright, away we go. 17th of April. The Small Hours Saint Sinners Hospital Ward 3. Yes, I quite understand. That is a great weight off my mind. Rest assured, I shall put everything in place exactly as we have discussed. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be acquainted with you, Mr. Shlomes. On the contrary, the pleasure has been mine. I bid you farewell, and Godspeed. My dear madam. To be continued. Right now. What is going on in the neighborhood? When I woke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. 17th of April, 9:32 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Golly. Good morning, Gina. I guess that's a hello? We'll go with, that's a hello. I'm trying to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where's your friend, then? I don't know what you expected. It doesn't go away in a day. Sorry? You know. In the fancy dress. Sosato, or however you say it? I don't know. Miss Sosato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. How long does it last? That depends on the person. The longest could be is a week. Anyway, hello. Yeah, the longest it can be is a week. So, yeah. Good luck. Yeah, hello. You have to. What about her? You're right with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Come and see her off. Go and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Miss Osato and I won't meet again. One day. I'm gonna say I hope that doesn't actually happen. Even so, but you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Well, good. That's what a relationship is about communication. I don't know who this is. Good morning, you two.
Oh, good morning, you two. How are you feeling, Ginny? Did you manage to sleep?
Iris, what are you doing here? What are you doing here?
What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support.
Wow, this trial... this court really just allowed anything. It allowed weapons, drinking, cats.
Isn't that right, Waggy? Oh, Waggy?
Great way to show your support, kitty. Well, at least you got an answer to that question. I just was like, wow. Okay then. I'm having nose around. What I'm gonna do?
Oh, that reminds me, I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Tell me the bad news first.
What do you say, Runo? Ginny?
Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Ranosuke agrees with me. Ha! Now always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Wow. Thanks, Gina.
Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities.
Let's not go there.
Oh, right then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move.
Huh? The bad news was a weather report?
I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train is delayed on its way to the port.
Gosh, yes. Alright then. So what's the good news?
Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon.
Okay.
So even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is the good news, isn't it?
I could've given you a monkeys, really? Could've given monkeys, really? If only all good news canceled out the bad.
And look!
Oh my gosh.
And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in purse plunder. See?
How'd you like that? Well, let 'em say what they want. See if I care. I can't, because you're covering your face.
Don't worry, Runo will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense.
I will?
And then in tomorrow's papers...
Golly.
And then in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be... Discharged diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Runo?
Oh, yes. Let's hope so.
Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you.
Didn't have confidence. Well, it's the same thing with, like, Phoenix having Maya have his back.
How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it?
It's like she was still here. Aww. Today's paper has been entered into the court record. This morning's paper, purchased by Iris, Gina's case features prominent. Okay. Alright, I want to look at the... What the frick is this? I'm the same height as Susato, but obviously Iris, I'm taller than her. Woohoo! No. Chemistry? No. I don't know no chemistry, you kidding me? Golly.
There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well, look.
This rare event, thanks.
Ministry Mole? Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas for Ministry of Justice.
For a 10-year-old, Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news.
It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently they're being intercepted by hostile nations.
Communications are being intercepted, but how would someone be doing that?
That's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runo?
No, of course not. I wonder. Perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday.
Yes, it could be, and it could explain why he has Grexy running from pillar to post at the moment.
Huh? No, that's just the name that was, I think, Lou named. Was it Lou? I don't know if it was Lou. It was either Lou or Natural or Dylan. One of them named Small Run. I can't remember. The details of today's paper have been updated in the court record. Why? Why is it that she needs to be here all the time? I'm just gonna be like, it's between those 3 to my memory. What do you mean? She's still here. I just don't always put her on my head all the time. Oh, there we go. Goodbye! And I am back. Alright,
Pawbroker perishes in purse plunder. How awful for Ginny, I mean.
So it was Lou. I was like, it was one of the 3. Oh, she is not a cookie. But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Diver is Dauntless Do-Gooder, right?
Yeah, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger.
Bigger? How?
Crown Pickpocket protects planet post-trial. Perhaps?
Protects planet?
Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great.
No, she's not. Alright, let me boop, boop, boop. There we go. What do you mean? My hair has physics. See? My hair, my whole head has physics. What do you mean? See? It's just slighter movements happen more with bangs, because it's more noticeable, because you're staring at my face. Oh boy. But yeah, there's physics. Technically, they're considered bones, which makes the hair move as it does. Boop, 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 boop. I hope so. Or are you staring at Small Ren? Is that the problem? Is that what it is? Do I need to hide Small Ren from you all? Huh. That really just depends on what you consider context. My ears just are a little bit more that they just pop through my hair, and that's just how it is. Boom, boom. Uncomfortable? What the frick? What the frick? No, I thought you were making the joke about... Because you're the one who brought Smallren up in the first place. Because that would be kind of weird? Oh. Well,
Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can.
uh-huh.
Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still.
Yeah, but you also have to remember, I don't think elves have horns on their head. Why do we have the bazooka?
I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you more support and encouragement.
Why are you staring... Why am I staring at the head of a bazooka? A space coat? Why a space coat? What? Okay, what the heck has happened? I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but... Thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. You say that now. Oh yeah, Iris.
Yes, Ginny?
Well, I was wondering is all, about Shloms. Did they fix them up alright? My gosh, what's the difference between them? Oh my god. What in the random things that you guys come up with is wild.
Yes, the operation was a great success. But Hurley still hasn't come around yet.
Well, that's obviously not true. I saw him awake and talking to Sasato before she left. Eh.
I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up.
Yes. I'm sure Grigson will soon know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Susato-san and no Mr. Slomes. No. No. Nope. Because that will... I already know what that would be. Nope. It's all down to me today to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. I did! You guys just come up with your own stuff all the time. What the frick with that pun? Yes, I know exactly what you would do. Miss Gina, let's trade counsel for the defense. The trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. Very elusive, uh-huh.
It's time then.
Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris?
Lead the way, Runo.
What's the judge gonna say about Iris being here? I'm ready. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. Why do you keep bringing up that? Oh my god. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. I'm very serious about writing. Makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that better at jokes, you could literally just do puns. Like, goodness. My point is, that's anything but harmless for Smallren. And you wonder why I keep her away from chat. 17th of April, 10 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. Okay, who's on the jury today? Oh. I see some familiar faces.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Letstrade. I now call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
Are you okay? Reindeer for Christmas? Huh? What's going on? Well, obviously something very weird's going on today. I guess. It's definitely something. I don't even know what it means, so I don't know. Well, what the frick? The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready.
Lord Van Zeeks,
My lord?
remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service?
$10? Oh, 5. It was some 5 years ago, my lord.
Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior?
My goodness. People are only using the name because that's what your name is put there. That's all. Yes.
In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government.
Really? None of the above.
Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder.
But yes. What is it?
I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel.
That is a good question. Is it because it's related to, Magnus McGild? There are 2 types of people I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large.
He means Mr. McGild, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago.
Thank you, Iris, for stating the obvious. Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Magnus McGild, if I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those willy scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. Why? Because nothing back in the day made quite sense. In other words, the confident tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. What? Did he really just say that?
He means you now, Bruno.
I actually managed to work that out too, thank you, Iris. Total betrayal, what are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes. Was that directed solely at me, or was he talking about all Japanese people? Oh boy, Van Zeeks, You're digging yourself a giant hole to the center of the earth. Tread lightly.
An alarmingly scathy explanation, Lord Van Zeeks.
Exactly 20 years. Yeah, it was a soldier guy. He had no one to take care of the baby, so the baby was there.
Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London malefactors.
Starting, I think he's pushing it. Your lordship is too kind.
Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial.
What? Okay, I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these people. Okay, I'm gonna move over so you can see. You guys remember who this is, don't you? I swear this is the guy from the second trial. At least the image. Like what, the one lady who caused the quote-unquote death of, Kazuma by accident. I think that's him. Like the actual person. She's been in here before. I don't know why she's got headphones all of a sudden. Why is he a doctor? It's not him? I don't know who this is. But, why is this old man a doctor now? Maybe he's always been a doctor. That's why I said, isn't that the one from the second case that was shown? That's why I'm like, why is he here? And obviously we know, this one and this one. The only one who's new is, juror number 3. Yeah, there was a criminal, or I don't know if it was a criminal. It was like a rebel leader, I think. You don't say.
Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant?
I don't even know who juror number 3 is. I'm a lieutenant in the British Army. Here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready. Well, he seems good.
Clean crookedy, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto was very appropriate here, I think.
What the frick? Oh no. We're gonna be doing that, I think.
Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it. I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. We have...
Woman indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. If he's not a... Okay, random question. A juror has to be a citizen, right? Then I've better... Doesn't someone who has to be on a jury have to be a citizen of the country? Now that I'm thinking about this. So how did he end up here? Unless he has citizenship that I don't know about. That's what I said. That's what he looks like, the rebel leader from the trial. Well, this guy, I think, was in the newspaper as like a rebel leader. Rebel Russian leader, specifically. Well, I guess that depends on your perspective, I guess.
Good day, I'm...
Nope. Good day, I'm visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take a bus to Crystal Tower, please. I just was wondering, I'm like, he might have citizenship, it's just a genuine question. That traveled Europe and just guys. Yeah, that's why I was wondering.
Is something wrong, Runa?
Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact.
Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But it is quite strange. These jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know.
Well, I don't think that Capcom made 6 million different sprites. So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped.
Very well, now, Lord Van Zeeks. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case.
As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. Really? Really now? I'm kind of shocked. There's probably other ones, but in this particular thing, I swear he follows us like the plague. You're gonna tell me this 17-year-old killed this 48-year-old man for what? The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. Vengeance for what? What does she have vengeance against him for? The prosecution... Golly, hang on. Yeah, I think he does have a bit of an obsession. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the judgeman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. I guess, but I also think because he didn't like Magnus McGild, and Magnus McGild was the one who... We're pretty sure that killed 3 Thrice Mason from that case. So maybe he just thinks we're a bad person. Who knows? His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? It means that the bullet went up. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. What do we do with it? He knows we're just doing our jobs, right? I don't know. You called him a vampire, so who knows? I think Reg is just running the Van Zeeks family. Someone. Like the accused, you might say?
Oh.
Prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photos as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please.
The autopsy report has been entered into the court record. Report prepared by Scotland Yard coroner that confirms instant death due to a single bullet wound from the back. There is no other signs of trauma. A photograph of the victim found murdered in the storeroom. It shows the single bullet wound in the man's back. Would prefer a defense to devote them to the self-law and be absolute defender of the accused. Well, in his mind, at least Van Zeeks feels that there was no justice made, I guess? Gives us a break. Well, Miles is different. Like, I'm not gonna say that Van Zeek and Miles don't have similar characteristics, but yes, Miles understands where he is wrong. I don't think Van Zeek's... He keeps pushing. Pushing. Almost kind of like Winston Payne in a way. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. Give steak and garlic a turn. Yeah. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. At the end of all of this, simply to see if he changes his view or remains a crypt. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm very curious to see where he goes. I'm wondering if he's in the second game, because there is another game for Great Ace Attorney, so I'm wondering if he pops up there. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Yes, of course. Oh, well, that's it, then, isn't it? And nothing more to say.
Is that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway?
She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums in the East End. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then. What are you drawers waiting for? The girl's guilty as heck! Can't wait for Kazuma. Yeah, of course we're going to be playing the second game. I got this in a pack, like, the first 3 games of Ace Attorney, plus the 2 Great Ace Attorney games I got in a bundle. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Yeah, it's in a pack. Yeah, I got the first 3 games, plus the 2, Great Ace Attorney ones. Well, you have to check these things, that's what I do. How do you think I got the Apollo Justice one? I got the Apollo Justice pack, which is the Apollo Justice game plus 2 others. It's Dual Destiny and, the other game that I can't remember right now. Edgeworth, as a character, has much depth, being a man who wanted to be a defense attorney but chose otherwise. He sometimes even helps his... Well, yes. The thing is we've had a lot of time to have Edgeworth develop as a character. I don't think Van Zieks has had much time to be seen. Because I played them on release. Ah... Well, I also bought them in a bundle, and I also wait for deals to happen. That's just me. So, I'm kind of waiting on, This was just the first game, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He went through... We got to interact with him during cases, though. You can't do that! How are you gonna do that? For what? But, yeah. I'm waiting for, like, a while for the Mild Edgeworth stuff to be able to go on sale. That would be nice. But yeah, I buy these on Steam sales. Because I put them in my library and they tell me when I get, like, a really good deal. So yeah. I get these in packs. And we're back to drinking the juice again, are we? My lonely ponies, friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. Well, it kind of makes sense. Like, it makes a ton of sense. Why not? Because people typically play these games in succession. That's a lot of apple juice. He's had way too much apple juice in the span of this game. But yeah, if you just look up, like, if you look up Ace Attorney on Steam, you'll see they have bundles. Or packs, if you want to call them. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Oh, great. It gets worse. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. And we're not going to talk about how they were frickin' in the building and were thieves? Are we not going to talk about that?
Good gracious!
After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pickpurse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. She's just silent.
The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence.
Yeah, those guys. There's one really short guy and there's one tall guy, so he could also do that. Perfectly objective, I believe. Uh-huh.
Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zieks.
At once, my lord. Crime scene floor plan has been entered into the court record. Plan of Windybank's pawnbrokery, the scene of the crime. It shows the relative positions of the main shop and the rear storeroom. A weapon belonging to the victim, Mr. Windybank, that Gina was holding when she was found unconscious. There are signs of a single bullet missing. This isn't good.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno.
Oh, you haven't seen gloomy yet. You haven't seen anything yet, Tyrus. I think that's because it has. Uh-huh. I told you it was. I told you they are. Isn't that cool? I told you the bundles are great. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on the 16th of April of this year. Oh! They're the thieves? Really? Witnesses, state your name and occupation for the court. I don't know what to say. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I have some of the original games on like the DS. Are they brothers? Because they have the same skull cross going on here. And one's got a fruit. Both got fruit. One's got an apple and one's got a pear.
Name's Nash Skullskin. Occupation is baddie. Professional baddie.
Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's, same as him. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector.
That's right. We're what they call...
I guess.
the three skulking provers.
Are you related? That can't be. What are you looking at me for? Don't let me in with you lot.
God blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going for?
To all the bruv, lost contact with them we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
And then last night we came across you, the very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo?
He is, Nash. He is. The very spit of him.
So we decided there and then what we's gonna do. We's gonna call you up.
Big bruv sulky.
Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky skulkin', and that's before he's run out of chips.
Well, that Inspector Sulky Gregson.
No, the joke is that these guys admire Gregson and are trying to say that they respect him like a brother. He's not related, to my understanding.
Beg your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. Well, what I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand.
Yeah, they're just having respect for him, so they see him as an older brother. But he's not, as he says himself, he's not related to them at all. The Skulkin brother is currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Okay, so they didn't get scot-free. Thank you. I thought we were just going to let them go. That's what I thought was going on.
Thieves, are they? These three?
There's only two. Oh, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't let me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, those two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. I don't know, the way they made it sounded like they were quote-unquote good civilians, so I thought they, for a minute, were getting scot-free because of it. That's why I was confused. Because they were not brought up at all, except for that they were witnesses. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I just was like, the way it felt like, huh? They didn't say they were arrested before. That's why I was wondering what was going on with them.
By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence.
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. He's got the box. Do we just have a box on the side of the room for people to stand on?
Order! Order!
Maybe they thought they were just hanging out with their brother? Maybe. Maybe. The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings. Though they will naturally face a trial in the very near future. Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know. I feel better now.
With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in this stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw.
Happened to him. 'Cause a skulkin's never sulkin'.
Oh my gosh, leave him alone.
Get out of it.
Poor Gregson. Witness testimony.
Illegal entry. We's walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff store was ajar, see?
It was like some kind of sign begging for us to go in, it was.
But once we got inside, God blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room.
We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet.
Uh-huh. But you're being put on trial in the future for being thieves / burglars. So obviously you took something. It was me and Rickson is my... Oh boy.
A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot.
The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main store was indeed locked from the inside. And within only the victim and the accused were found. Gosh. Yes, that does fit, doesn't it?
I must say it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case.
As it seems, but why, if Ginny wanted to commit this crime, why would she lock herself in the room with him and pass out? With the weapon in her hand, if she wanted to get away with it.
Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel!
Yes.
What's the matter, Runa?
Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. When there's a struggle. Huh. The doom and terror of modern man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess so. But she didn't look like she was hurt, so that's the weird thing, though. At least, Gina has never stated that she was injured. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'd like to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. Like, I could see, like, there being a struggle, but I don't know... Like, they're further away from each other, which is very weird if it's an actual struggle. That's all. But it's not an impossibility. There's just never been statement about, like, bruising or her having injuries, which you would think. From that type of thing. You know. Golly.
Hold it!
Alright. Maybe, who knows? The front door of Windy Banks was ajar, you say. What time of night was this?
Must have been about 1, right, Ringo?
Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Silky? How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. No, get a lie detector. That doesn't work in court.
Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo?
Not so sure, Nash. Seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Silky, me old mucker? Leave me alone. There's definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her weapon trained on the unfortunate victim.
Objection!
This is pure conjecture. That is pure conjecture. Perhaps, but it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside.
Right, that's what happened.
Objection hearsay. It was some kind of sign.
Hold it!
Why were you out at like 1 in the morning? What are you trying to suggest, that you had to go in?
Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say. Don't they, Ringo?
They do, Nash. They do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whims of thieves, does it?
It weren't no whim. I'm dead sure, old that.
It weren't, Nash. It weren't, like we said at the time.
You just don't find the doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it.
It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside.
Huh?
They're not very good liars, are they? He'd probably get a restraining order. Well, you can't deny it. Let us still bloke what looks just like our brother. I said, cut it out. These chips are getting a chomping today. Once we got inside, we heard the shot from the back room.
Hold it!
Hello, hello, hello. I don't know. He'll think of something. I just fell Gregson to the ends of the earth. Poor Gregson. I don't know. We'd have to see. If it was a thing back then. I'm just saying, if it didn't exist, he might have been the one to start it, just to get away from them. A gunshot, you say, just the one. Are you sure about that? Yep, just
the one, governor. I can swear to that.
was, Nash, it was. Ain't that right, bro? The firearm used belonged to the victim himself.
Yes, Mr. Windybank always used to leave his weapon lying around on the counter.
Aww. Well, I think that Gregson's the one who invents them in this universe. Right, I remember. When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Windybank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded.
And they become a detective trio. That'd be interesting. That would be very interesting, and good on Gregson if he can do it. That's true, I remember him saying that as well.
So we could say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon.
And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Before it's invented. Wonderful. Well, I think... Once we said we heard that from the back room. I think it's this one. Wow, that is really late. What the frick? Why so late for a kingdom at one point to then just a nation that late?
Objection!
Does that work? Ah! Okay, maybe it's a different statement then. Maybe. That is a definite possibility. Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that is of the storeroom.
Of course, there was only one oil lamp burning. Not much to see by.
And the door was hidden behind a curtain and all. That's right. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door? Eh? Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think.
Oh, well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo.
Well, Nashram, yeah. I suppose you'd have to say we ain't normal, huh? Uh-huh. Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream. The timid flee, gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former. Alright. Somehow I just proved that I was a coward that night.
Thank you, counsels. So I believe we all understand the door was locked and could not be opened. Proceed, witnesses.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hold it!
You didn't do or take anything? Is that your story?
Well, it was bedlam soon, weren't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out. Me lucky lockets. What? Hello! Am I winning? Technically not yet. We're not there yet. Currently, at this moment, we're kind of in a corner. So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say?
That's right, Governor. Nothing we ain't more than violence. Peace, love, and... We're not lungers.
Yeah, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out. Me Lucy lockets. Is that just meaning his pants? Is that what that means? So you clearly like us to believe.
Come again?
As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, you did not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a weapon at that person?
Saints alive! They fired a weapon, you say?
Ah!
Blimey, Gov...
Blimey, Governor.
You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway.
So they admitted it. It was. Uh-huh.
Why the bleeding Nora?
Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a weapon, and as you fled the scene, you fired that weapon. At London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes.
They shot the great Mr. Slomes?
I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital.
The great Slomes? That's beyond the pale.
On the night in question, this pair were arrested by police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicions countenanced rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Okay, so you didn't mention this before, Van Zeeks. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers.
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel. The court will hold this weapon as evidence.
The Skulkin brothers' weapon has been entered into the court record. A firearm found in the possession of the Skulkin brothers upon their arrest. There are signs that a single round was fired. And round 2 of the juice. Now, my Lord Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to your success for presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this weapon, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Objection!
Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there. Yes, you did. What do you mean? Ryunosuke!
Objection!
You have to prove. However, the rest of us in this courtroom are not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast to your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired that weapon before they left Windybanks that night.
The court demands that all claims of...
Golly.
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker shop that night?
Baduski. Take that! The evidence is in this portfolio.
What on earth have there, counsel?
During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. I trust in the police to do the job they're trying to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. What the freak is wrong with you? He is allowed to look at the crime scene as the frickin' defense attorney of the defense. Leave him alone. Golly. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio.
And you claim to have the evidence that the court is demanding therein?
Yes, my lord.
No more dallying then. Counsel, present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene?
This one.
Take that!
The first one.
What does that explain?
It's a photographic print taken at Windybanks pawnbroker on the day of the incident.
From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears a bullet is still lodged there.
Yep. Yes, your lordship, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windybanks' calendar. The date shows being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death.
The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th.
That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes that this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their weapon in the pawnbrokers that night. Golly, that was a weird noise.
Oh no, how does the
Okay.
How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks?
Still drinking. Is he gonna throw it? No? He's composed. That's not good. That's not good. If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? Oh, there it is. I was wondering where the first cup would go. Yeah, you just realized I said he was standing on the box before. I don't know what the context is of what Dylan's talking about. But you'll forgive me for flighting my hollow chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold babbies they claimed to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street.
Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup.
We had a deal. You
weren't gonna get us into them details. Tell him, Sulky. Set the bloke straight.
I have nothing to add.
The one that you expect? Oh my god. So he knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. Alright, I gotta go grab something real quick, so I'll be right back. Like, literally right back. I knew it as soon as I went away. This happens. Why is it always like this? I don't... Why? Oh my gosh. Keep on topic, guys. Keep on topic. Oh boy. You can talk in your Discord, not fight. Well, chat about stuff. Golly. What the frick are you doing? It would seem now that I owed my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? But your reactions... My Well, yeah, it's because it was such a, like, out of left field thing. Oh my gosh. What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. Oh my gosh.
To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks?
Golly. As has been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's weapon. However, if the shot found its target in Mr. Sloane's, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. Well, what are you thinking? Do you want something more spicy, or do you want something more beef-like? It just really depends on what you're thinking. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all. So that's it. What the frick are you... What?
That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Nash, we didn't. That's what I reckon. If you're just tired, then eat something, like, lighter, like a granola bar, or cereal, or something just a lot lighter if you're not super hungry. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let's not forget attempted murder. Oh my gosh. You know, you can sleep and still listen, right? You don't have to see everything. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. That's your decision on your own life. In for it now, bro. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Shlom's. Oh my gosh, just go to the bathroom. You don't have to tell me everything. Gollies. Why are you guys like this? For 8 hours. Then go to sleep. You don't have to be there the whole time if you are tired. Would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Yeah, is that an issue? Where's he going with this? Oh my gosh, just go! Mr. Slums appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh, that's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption.
Oh my gosh. Just go! Go! As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. Holy moly! That is so many books. Okay. 8:30. Okay. As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in quite a desultory fashion. Well, have a good sleep.
Rather prodigal, I feel.
In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop. If I may refer to the refer the court to a plan of the premises. Their respective positions are here and here.
You say these cameras produce a print every hour. Half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals.
One can only pray that would-be criminal lingerers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera.
That's a bit fair tuck, eh, bruv?
My gosh, why do you always think of your friggin' stuff that you need to do right now? Just go get some. Herlock loves a sulkin.
Witnesses, at what time did you trespassing begin?
Must have been just after 1, right, bruv?
Must have been Nash. Must have been. Yeah, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before the brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Oh my god!
Gina!
Why? Oh, great! Gina. Why? Oh my gosh. I said to go. Why are you like this?
It's the defendant. Miss Gina, let's trade.
Great. We have to figure out how to defend that. As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, weapon in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. My gosh, why are you being like... Okay, fine. We're gonna do this. See you in 5 minutes.
Quite, one can too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence. If you please, counsel.
Photograph taken automatically by the red-handed recorder showing the scene a short time before the murder took place. Ugh, that is my face. Renosuke. Oh, well, he said he had to leave, so I gave him every reason to leave. Alright, let's go... Might as well start observing evidence. Well, that looks to be correct. I don't see anything weird. In this photo, at least. Anything weird going on with this? This is Mr. Windybank's weapon. The cylinder is completely empty.
Mr. Windybank is always used to keep this weapon to hand on his shop counter.
Yeah, isn't this great? Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand.
That's right, to keep all pawned articles that were in his care safe.
But his one bullet was fired that night and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? Okay. What about the next one? Well, it's a longer weapon. So there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of these revolvers' 6 cylinders.
Yes, which tells us that only a single shot had been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happened almost as soon as we walked in through Windybank's door.
I'll make those brothers pay.
Oh boy, they better watch out. Iris is on the case. And I don't see anything. I'm trying to think. It all looks pretty much the same. I don't know what I would figure out from this photograph. that would help me, I guess. Yep.
I don't believe it. Ginny!
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Winterbank. Ah! I say, my lord. Is it who I think it is? Oh. I say, my lord, I wonder if I might put a word at this point.
Go ahead, Mr. Foreman.
Took a bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maiwand, 1888, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Is he sick? It looks like he's blushing. Of course, a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield.
Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point?
Carried on the battle after retirement. You see, the battle of daily life, if you like. Here I am now, standing in this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. And we all go down together, you mark my words. One for all and all for one. Okay. Already? The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached an agreement, have they? Are we starting already? Is that what we are here? Is that what we are to understand?
Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
Great. In a manner of speaking, yes. This is the Garib Squadron's position, sir. What do you say? What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here. Status report for the court, men on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times. That goes for making decisions, too.
I think you'll find the truth is clear as day now. I can reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
If you're a doctor and you left something in someone's body because of surgery, why are you still a doctor? Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. And where we saw 4 brothers, they are unlucky.
Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leading in this matter. Announcer, considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Oh boy.
Guilty.
Thanks.
Guilty!
What the frick?
Guilty.
Did he just smack his head onto the button? That was a new one.
It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leading already.
That photograph must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Ginny didn't shoot him.
Well, we don't know that for a fact, but obviously we're gonna figure that out. We're hoping that she did not. Because I don't know why she would do that, though. If she's trying to get what she wants, which is to see Iris's, manuscript, why would she even, her threatening Windy Bank make sense? I guess? But why would she kill him, though? That seems like something so out of left field. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summontation examination. Well, we didn't see any.
Very well, the court grants permission.
And so you refuse to admit defeat again? How unsurprising. It never showed anything, to my understanding.
We shall provide immediately with the summontation examination. Mr. Foreman, all members of the jury ready?
Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Judicial findings. You think he is? Maybe he is. I was like, I thought he was maybe, like, sick. But I guess that is a possibility. Maybe because his wife is dealing with some, jail time that he has to cook for himself. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketee.
As a houseman, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in the stereo, the truth will just pop out.
If I have left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now.
Mind made up, stop. Global radio transmission of verdict to follow, stop. In motherland, we never judge by clothes, judge by head. I'm convinced brothers are innocent.
The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively.
The storeroom locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. In the accused hands, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the bloody bally trigger. Thanks a lot, Mr. Sloms.
Oh dear. Harley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder.
They might help us yet, Iris. They might help us yet. Can I see every freaking photo that thing taken that day?
I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you.
But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. Which means there's more to the situation than we've yet to see.
Agreed.
You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summatation examination.
I don't even know where to start. The defense's rebuttal. Like, I don't even know what we would put together, I guess. I guess we'll find out.
Hold it!
Alright. You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garib, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this. Oh, you're the lawyer, chap. Well, there's an upturn for the books. Well, thanks for stopping by. Yes, rather a turbulent time we've had back then. Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sloms and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? I mean, obviously. I wouldn't be suggesting that, therefore you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything. Can't be denied, I suppose. Pest at the Garib house was the talk of the town after that business. Lodgers moved out and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tendencies. Oh. Haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet. Bad enough that the old girl's clapped up. Yes, can't be denied. You did do rather a lot. Not for us, that's for dash certain. Wow. Suppose not. Of course. There can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously. Obviously, but honestly, I really wish you'd paid more attention to the trial and less to juror number 2. Oh my gosh, is it because she's a maid similarly dressed to his wife? Is that what it is? Is that what's going on?
Hold it!
Does that remind him of when he met Joni? Is that when he met Joan? Does he miss his wife that much? He sees someone in a maid outfit and it reminds him of his wife. Wow. That's sad. Was she right? Who knows? Polishing the bench, I see. Again.
Maid's work's never done. Not a blemish must remain.
What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores?
On my way to the market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pick-purses, and crossmen, the scum of the earth.
A little harsh, perhaps.
Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated.
Then do you want to help them get a job? Why do you think it is a slum? Most of those people are not there because they want to be. They have no way to make a living. Golly. Gina is 17 years old, and the only way for her and her friends to eat is her pickpocketing. I'm not saying pickpocketing is right, but she literally has no income. What do you want her to do? Starve?
At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals.
You're referring to Mr. Herlock Schwalms?
That's right. I'd like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rancid magazine between my duties.
Yeah, she's literally an orphan. And she says to eradicate where she's living. Where Gina and her friends are living. Like, what the frick?
He does wonders cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital.
Mr. Slomes, a maid. And I think fan art was made that day when people saw that.
It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective.
Minor detail, it was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Slomes, not the defendant.
Minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned.
And you're a jerk! Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway.
Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement.
Thank you. Those brothers are the scum of the earth. They should swing for shooting the great detective.
Hold it!
What do you mean, look at the photograph in stereo?
Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at this photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl's about to shoot the victim, obviously.
Objection!
But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the weapon.
All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in the stereo, it can reveal all sorts of new information.
By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes?
Oh, how'd you know?
Because it's on your frickin' forehead? Let's call it a lucky guess.
Never gets old, seeing the two prints merge into one before my eyes. It's extraordinary. It's captivating. It's the height of modernity.
Oh, and if they saw a moving TV screen, his brain would explode. Of course.
Oh yes, I think you'll find the stereoscope is here to stay, giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen.
If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. I don't know. What have you been talking about this entire time, man?
Hold it!
What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that.
Ah, so sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
A surgeon? That's totally passed me by.
Of course, people who conduct surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors.
Oh no.
Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field.
Surgeons are not considered doctors? What? Then how did they become a surgeon? Just walked in the door and said, I'm here to become a surgeon? And they went, pat you on the back? You're hired. So, what is it that you think you've left behind? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, you said barbers as well. That's still wild. Golly.
Oh, well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest.
I'm sorry, I kind of forgot. I didn't even know he was a surgeon, that's the thing. That's blowing my mind that this old man that we've seen twice now is a surgeon.
See, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing, went in through the abdomen.
Wait, are you Herlock's surgeon? Were you the one who operated on Herlock yesterday? What?
When I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel
Anywhere? What? Does that mean Herlock has a scalpel stuck in his abdomen? What? Did he? Surely not.
Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what I've been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't.
Since barbers had the needed tools. I'm not even gonna... I don't even want to think about that. The more I think about that, the more I question.
So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really.
That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter.
That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure.
I'm sure you need to be more sure. Yeah, why didn't you double check before you sewed the man back up? I don't know, I'm assuming it's Herlock, because him being a surgeon and Herlock going through surgery feels like it's supposed to be connected. So why didn't you double check? Why are you thinking about it now? Hours later. I'm kind of scared that you're saying that it's very often. That's worrying.
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean?
Are you from the Far East? Stop.
Yes, from the Empire of Japan.
All communication with the Far East nation used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey.
Oh, but now we have that electronic telegram, so we can send messages using electronic signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world.
Thousands of miles of cable on the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
You're well informed, young lady. The cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop.
And just when I was starting to catch up.
Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to four corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop.
I think anything being left inside of someone's body where there was surgery happening is not good.
Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. People say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What other piffle? I can't understand it. I really can't. They're really just silly toys.
Oh, oh, someone didn't like that.
Excuse me.
Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but...
What?
Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess?
Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. Go on. I dare you.
Goodness, are you talking to me?
I think he just might be, yes.
You think stereoscopes are just toys, are you, huh?
Absolutely, I mean, really, a machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions? Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. And then I could say to her, you're using a radio to communicate when you could go meet the person face to face. Oh no! Oh, I don't want to imagine that. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes have no practical use at all.
You just don't know.
Pardon? Golly.
I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate.
What sort of possibilities?
Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that could be viewed through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you've never even noticed before.
What?
Have you got any, Runo? Any prints we could look at with the stereoscope?
Absolutely. What the frick?
Take that!
I was wrong. Can't actually think of anything we could use at all.
What? Really? Oh dear, I think maybe I need to have a stereoscopic look at your brain sometime.
What's that supposed to mean? Oh, golly. Now I get to click through all this dialogue again. Oh my gosh, she just keeps talking.
Excuse me.
Alright. Golly. These two are just, having a, great discussion. Let's save. Just pick the right photo, it's easy. Uh-huh.
Take that!
Is it this one? Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints?
Of course I can.
Very well then. I'd like you to demonstrate.
Be delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
What would be the other print, though? I'm confused on what the other print would be. Because this has the cat, and so does the other one. So what would be the other photo? You think this? Like, I'm generally like, huh?
Take that!
Okay, it's not that one. What about one of
Take
these?
that!
Nope, he won't take that one either. I'm missing something, obviously. Not from what I can tell. That's the only one they gave me. Like, I can just put the magnifying glass on, so I can't talk or discuss anything. And none of these have a similar scene. And that just has that. That's the manuscript. I feel like I'm missing a piece of information. Great. Ace. Attorney. Because I'm like, I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing. Alright, let me see. I'm just checking this guide. That's why I'm like, I'm missing something, because we're on the right thing. Let me just check. That's all the same. Okay. Okay. I just was double checking. Okay. So yeah, we have to talk to the next... So this is fine, I just hit this. Don't you have these in the Far East?
Don't you know how a stereoscope works?
Blah, blah, blah. We already talked about this before. Yes, I knew I need 2 photographs. One for the left and one for the right. Okay. But the print we have from the pawnbroker is just a normal photograph.
No. I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a microscope. You always need 2 prints.
Thanks for the friendly explanation.
Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show it to this young man then. Ha 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 ha.
I think you'll find that the know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me. Let's get this back on track, okay?
Hold it!
Please tell me you're not Villain Bolshevik, the Russian revolutionary? Revolutionary? Duh, I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor. As you see, I have a fortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. Just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murder, autocrat, and Witchcliff fits. Good day. I'm visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take a bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right, that didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like vicious criminal all the time. Very painful. People do not realize. so I have much sympathy for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers? Duh, maybe they went inside a pawnbroker's shop. But they have done nothing wrong. That is all I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night? Alright, well, first of all, that's one not-so-little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Was that said? Oh, and article about government secrets being leaked to foreign agencies. Yeah, I think he was, wasn't he? Huh. Huh. Well, this thing just got a lot bigger than we thought. It was already a bigger case, but this is really a lot bigger than I thought. Tell me something, Iris.
What is it, Bruno?
The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London Town, aren't they? Inhabitants of London Town. Golly.
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it?
In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary? That's why I'm saying, huh? How did that happen?
Wish I knew.
What is that? Wow, you come in, and that's what you say? Because you find Herlock attractive? If I can't change the minds of more than half of these 6 jurors, the trial will be over.
But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone.
Priorities. Swinging him. It's fine, it's just funny. Which reminds me, I guess I could show this, if I save right here, I can show something real quick. That shows up in the second game that you might find interesting. Fine, save. You didn't think? Well, here's the... I forgot to mention, because I have the 2 games, I have special content. So I can change their outfits for the second game. So you can change him to have a Japanese jumble mix, so he can go from this to this. Why? I don't know. But yeah. Just thought you guys would find that interesting. He looks awesome. Yeah, it's something I can have in the second game. It's not for the first game. It's better. Yeah. I'm not gonna disagree. Whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Oh, not this. I want to...
Objection!
These 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
Good lord, counsel, explain yourself.
Oh my statement contradictory?
Contradict. Con. Now the code and hat are part of the detective group. It looks so much better without them. Yeah. He looks better. I think he looks good both. Either way. It's just interesting to see, like, he has really fluffy hair underneath his hat. Juror number 6, you got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick. I have mouse. You do. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver.
Yes, they shot poor Mr. Slomes in the abdomen, I understand.
Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen. Sir? Sorry. My English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear? Forgive me. I did not hear. Well, he is using a book to figure out the wording, so obviously he doesn't understand. He's juror number 6. Why? I don't know. Here is word abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker. Who thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying? They said before, we never done nothing. But the truth is, they shot detective. Da. This is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by a person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means, when they said, we never took nothing, maybe it was also big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough. I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir. I must see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that will be
Yes, it is, Runo. Easily.
Sorry?
With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder.
Ah.
If you compare the prints that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later...
Golly.
You'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor.
Tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a cementation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and suddenly heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight.
So this was taken after Hurley was shot then?
So
As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken.
that does seem to be the case. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, brothers who look like criminals only told one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understood the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very, very important to continue with trial. Yay! Thank you, Russian revolutionary man that I don't know the name of because I forgot the name.
Yay, well done, Rudolph. The balance is shifting.
Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. If I can do that, we might turn the situation to our favor still.
Thank you, counsel. Continue with the cementation examination. And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence.
Alright, another print in the court record. I wonder if we can make use of that. Yeah, I wonder. What did that say? In lake of lies are many dead fish. We must find truth. Therefore I say not guilty. Verdict. His name is Revolution Man. Russian Revolution Man? No, his name is... He said it before. I just don't think we have him in here. Oh, by the way, Lou, since you popped in, these are the two, burglars. And poor Gregson is being seen as their quote-unquote brother. And they won't leave him alone.
Hold it!
So Gregson's having a fun time. They both look funny. Oh yeah, they're also the ones who shot Herlock, by the way, in the abdomen. I cherish him. Oh boy.
Excuse me.
Ringo can go free, just Ringo. Nash is in trouble. Oh boy. So I guess Nash is taking everything? The brunt of everything? Just Ringo. Uh-huh, okay. Heard loud and clear. Alright, blah 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 blah. Yes, I do.
Take that!
That's one. Alright, we got this part of the lines. And then second one.
Take that!
Alright, these two prints were both taken with the same camera in Windy Banks on the night in question.
Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereoscopic images work?
Yes, I do. Don't explain them again.
Do you understand the principle?
It's just a little guy. I don't... Is he the older or younger brother? By the way, we still haven't dealt with Egbert Benedict in a while. He is the older brother, I knew it!
I knew it! I guessed right!
I was like, I'm assuming he's the older brother. Did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and the right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the positions of some objects. Then when you brain merges the two images together inside your head, you notice the shift as if it were in depth.
Yes, exactly.
It's the small shift between certain objects in two pictures that's really important.
It's just a little guy. I see. I see your priorities. So what happens if you put two photographs that are exactly the same, then?
No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the same three-dimension. The scene three-dimensional, anyway.
Getting shipped.
Oh. Oh! Of course, now I see.
I think the young girl has discovered the secret.
I have.
Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Thank you.
Have another look at these two pictures from Hurley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Can you see there's a really obvious difference between them?
Not right away. Like, I'm genuinely... It's like trying to spot the difference here. Of course there are two people in the first and no people in the second.
Well, yes, you can see that straight away, but now...
The lamp? What? Oh! I see it now.
Try looking at the pictures in 3 dimensions.
Alright. I'll give it a go. So, to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the two pictures overlap exactly. Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. I'm not doing that. My eyes will hate me. Wait.
Well, did you manage to see it properly, Bruno?
Yes, I saw it. I don't think I can't. My eyes. No, I literally cannot. My glasses have made it so that I cannot. It hurts. Like, it actually hurts me if I do that. What's going on with these two pictures? Some of the things on the counter sort of jump out at you. I'm sorry. Seeing the judge's face with the cross-eye. Just have Van Zeke's using the proper stereoscope. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yes, that's it, you see.
Yeah, he's still dignified as always.
That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes.
This is beautiful. Other amazing power? Oh no, it's another one. Another one has been... Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the dose do some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that,
I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principles of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question.
Basic principles of the stereoscope.
As I said before, if you try to look at two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in the position of certain objects that lets you see pictures three-dimensional.
In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually there must have been slight shifts in their position. Okay, so everything has moved slightly. Huh.
Yes, there must have been.
Weird. Why would they all shift so much? No, now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil did the shift between the two prints exist in the first place? And it's in a half an hour. Well, I think the lamp is important, but there's something going on. Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on. You're the cross-eyed monster. What? Me? I haven't the first idea.
You know, Bruno, it's quite simple.
It is?
Just think it through step by step.
The first
photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the positions of some items on the counter appear to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means...
That means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with things on the counter. Zonkers.
Someone tampered?
New information. Stop. Not mentioned in testimony so far. Stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this cementation examination now. So someone knew the camera... had to know the camera was there. And so they put everything back in place. Is this where Eggs Benedict comes in? Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shifts in the items on the counter. I don't know. I don't think it was Eggs Benedict, but he's somehow connected. I don't think they pushed it. I think things fell. So, if we looked at the two prints, as Lou said, the lamp is broken. So, obviously, I think there was a confrontation and everything fell. And the lamp broke. So, someone put it back up on the table, even though it was broken, so they tried to put everything in position. Maybe the actual defendant? There's not security cameras. These are just pictures. These are literal camera, like they're just regular cameras that Herlock set up to go off every half an hour. He has like a little setup mechanic thingy. I don't know what to call it. Maybe? Yeah, they're cameras on timers. So they're not like actual videos. We just can see them because it took it every half hour, so that's why you can tell the movement.
Take that!
Okay, it's not her. I don't know. Is it fully mechanical? Yeah. Well, it's not Herlock. He was on the floor. It's not Susato. It can't be Windy Bank, though.
Take that!
It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers. Wait. This does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy lockets. Yeah, I'm gonna say, Herlock was on the floor, and he wouldn't even do that anyways, but I'm like, it can't be him. The people at the scene at the time that we know of for a fact. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy lockets is meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying? I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. Yes, I'm afraid so.
Now hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that. I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse, after all.
Didn't know. Only Herlock and your assistant could have. Yeah. That's the thing. Well, Windy Bank knew of the cameras. He knew that for a fact because he was the one who changed the film all the time.
It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal.
I think that's unlikely.
And why exactly?
As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a weapon at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. Ha 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 ha! Wow. Ryunosuke is using the language of Van Zieks and putting it in his face. Well, not yet, because I'm assuming exactly at 1 o'clock her hand was going down. In other words, Miss Letstray's interests lie within the storeroom, not the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. And of which points to one thing. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony.
The accused is a pick purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here?
Because she didn't do anything wrong. There's no proof. Well, the closest you can be is that she was unconscious with the weapon in her hand, with Windybank in the storage room, where Windybank was shot with one bullet. Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, in fact, worse than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the victim on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimonies given against her by these two thieves? Yeah.
Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair.
Yeah, Ryunosuke is right. If you're going to be pressuring and think so lowly of her because she's a pickpocket, why then can you not do the same for thieves? My God. I'm sorry, but why is he hitting the button with his head? Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention the old man. He's apparently a surgeon who we think did the surgery on Herlock. It hasn't been confirmed, but that's my guess.
Can you all see now?
What do you mean?
I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand.
3 for 3. I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. I'll hardly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Overtone home via Regent Street. Stop. Well, I think she's getting a stereoscope. Yay! 4 versus 2!
Well, it would seem this trial is yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call the summatation examination to a conclusion, with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 leading to guilty, 4 leading to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus, and I order this trial to continue.
Yay, well done. Oh, by the way,
What?
you should hold on to this, Runo. You never know when it might come in useful.
Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely, but alright. Well, it means it's gonna happen.
Lord Van Zeeks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them.
Is it gonna go in the fire? I'm sure it won't spoil the banquet to do so, my lord. I'm assuming that's why he is doing that. I also think it was slightly as a joke and funny to the developers of like, he's a doctor and he washed his hands, so he shouldn't be touching anything, so he's just gonna bang his head on everything. Maybe that's why he forgot about the scalpel maybe inside of, that he thinks might be inside of Herlock's abdomen. Not confirmed, but it is a guess. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night, at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. Honks the doorknob, too. Yep. Boom. Boom. Well, that or he just booms the door open, like he just smashes through it. Just goes, I'm done. I'm here. To be continued right now. Yeah, it's like, he may or may not. The door. Knock, knock, open up the door. It's real. Yes, yes, it is. The old man says so. What's with the dead silence? Golly.
Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand.
Oh boy. And they're sweating. Hi, Gregson.
I presume you've heard the defense counsel's summatation examination.
Oh, yeah. Governor.
I did, Gov. I did. Mr. and Mr. Sulkin.
Court.
Blimey. Because then they'll go away. This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windy Banks.
Well, it was seldom soon as, weren't it?
Was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out. Me Lucy Lockets. However, that was a lie. You brothers.
Court.
Blimey. On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter.
We've done nothing of the sort.
How'd you figure that out? Ha! The older brother let it slip.
You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth.
Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. Well, yeah, because then it would be what is it? Conjecture? Not conjecture. What is it? What is the specific thing that they would be lying in court? I can't remember the exact offense right now. But it would be added on to attempted murder, break-in, burglary, and whatever the in contempt of court, I think is what it is. Lying to the court is his own charge. That's what I was. Isn't I think? Well, yes, it is. Think it's called in contempt of court. Perjury? Maybe perjury? If used to your narrative seeks. Yep, it is. And some. Oh. That gentleman may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. It's more general disrespect. Oh. Okay. You just realized what we said? Yes. The surgeon may have left a scalpel inside of Herlock's abdomen. We are not sure if that is true, but that is something that he's been thinking about, thinking that he might have left it there because he couldn't find the scalpel after he sewed up his patient, which our assumption is Herlock because he's the only one who's had surgery recently. I'm not kidding. That is actually a thing that's been discussed. I think it's Herlock. Because it'd be very weird to talk about a random person that having surgery if it's not Herlock. A thought worth pondering, perhaps?
Say no more, Gov. We hear ya.
Well, Blub, we'll speak, we'll preach. How long? What do you mean? Well, if you guys were here earlier, he was standing just fine talking to Susato. Illegal entry, the whole truth.
Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't riffling nor nothing.
It was when we heard the gunshots, he made us both jump and all that stuff would fly.
Mommy, it didn't have to give you a fright. We was thinking the shoulder come out the door and get us next.
We stuck everything back where we found it and scampered straight into him in the back.
We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we?
We don't know if that's true. I'm hoping it's not actually true, and it's just because the old man is old and just doesn't remember, and he just put it down, and it's not inside Herlock.
So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did indeed ransack Mr. Windybank's countertop on the night in question. Excuse me, on the night in question.
Not ransack, no.
Right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah. You shouldn't be saying that in front of Van Zeeks. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. I said, I don't know if he does have the whole scalpel. I don't know if the scalpel's in there or not. The point of the matter is that the surgeon, doesn't remember. And that's worrying.
The way you say it, we hardly sound like rugs at all.
We don't, Nash, we don't. Can he make us sound a bit more, cutthroat? It can't just be a coincidence that these two men showed up at Windybanks that night. Yeah, there's more to their testimony than meets the eye, I'm sure of it. Oh boy.
Hold it!
British started reading the text. I could only do like 2 British voice. One's for Herlock and the other one's for Van Zeets. I can't really do a proper British accent to save my life. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place?
Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we?
We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admit to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. Oh my gosh.
Well said, Ringo. You know, China. We'd only land ourselves in even more trouble.
And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble. That's rotten luck. Says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter?
We never ransacked nothing.
Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied the place up. Sorry. Okay, we got the point. I got it, okay? Don't make me time you out, Lou. For spamming. So what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter?
Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah. This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep his shirt on.
Look, it was louder, right? Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up at that bang.
Big brothers. Here, screamed like a blooming baby and fell over on the counter.
Oh my gosh.
He knocked over a load of books and candlestick and some skull whatnot.
I got tangled in some marionette wood knocked over a picture frame. What knocked them scales on the floor. You've really mastered working quietly then. What a racket. Granny would have been scared back in her grave at a clatter like that. So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise.
And then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse. And then all of a sudden, bam!
He's aggressively eating his, chips.
Excuse me.
Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add? Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. That was loud, sorry. No, something to add about their testimony? You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? Probably nothing, of course. Wouldn't even bother to mention it, only. Well, the fact is, the case don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's going on? As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statements they gave then told a slightly different story to what they said now. Ha ha ha!
Did it?
You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot. Might have.
Might have. Does ring a bell now you mention it.
Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. Can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? You really love this music.
If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it is hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment. I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them.
Easy, easy.
We'll get it right this time.
That's it, yep. It's all coming back to me now.
Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds. Sirs. Right you are, Grove. Just before we heard a voice yelling out,
Hold it!
So in fact, you've heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously? We did, Gov, we did. Yes, the Jigglypuff stare right back.
Although I suppose if you're being honest, we heard kind of wavering voice before yelling all.
If you don't get shot, if you don't want to get shot, give me that weapon. Bam. Kind of thing. Career in acting, tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell? Of course we could. From the other side of the... other side of the door behind the counter it was. From the storeroom where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Windybank. Well, that just means that you can go online and probably find the OST and just listen to it. On me granny's life, of course it was.
On his granny's life, of course it was.
So that would mean that you both knew Mr. Windybank and the sound of his voice?
So that would mean what?
Not Nash. What, Nash? What? Any ideas? Yes, they have matching jackets.
Yes, Council, indeed it would.
No. We don't know the geezer.
I was supposed to deny it when the bloke in front of all the fancy clobbering giving us the evil eye. If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true. On me granny's life it is.
On his granny's life it must be.
It's a good job his granny's dead. Wow. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then heard the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them on the shop floor. You make it sound like we're clumsy. You are!
Don't forget we tied up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it.
On the place was Holden, and so we should have just fired instead. The bloke? What? The bloke? Wait, so you're saying that Windybank had it in his hand? The bloke who owned the place was holding a weapon, so he should have just fired instead of yelling. There's a third one? Excuse me? You're saying that Mr. Windybank had a weapon in his hands?
Oh yeah, that was a sight. The two waving them weapons at each other must have got pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, we heard the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot."
Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say. Mr. Windybank was known to keep a revolver in his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone being himself, of course.
Good grief! Extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided.
Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night.
Golly.
The other night. Only the person he was gonna shoot made him do it. Cooked his goose proper.
But he wished he'd squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting and give me the gun. Well, I'm confused because the weapon, like Windybank's, was found in Gina's hand. So how is there 3 weapons if only 2 of them were found from the scene? And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot?
It was more or less the same time, Gov. Give me that gun. Bam.
Kind of thing. Yes, a career in acting very tragically missed.
Then we heard the sound of something hitting the deck. Before everything went dead silent, quiet.
After that, we done a slapdash job tying the place up.
Hold it!
Yeah? So you didn't try to open the storeroom door then?
Not in your life.
It went dead quiet after that, did. Put the wind right up on me. Right up me. But anyway, the door was locked, weren't it? No way that wasn't open. That it was open. Yes, of course, it was locked from the inside, or so we've been led to believe.
It was, Gov. It was, from the inside.
Right. From the inside. Blah.
Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we?
Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps.
Don't ring no bells.
Don't light no lights. We had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that.
We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day, we'll really cut the mustard.
Please, cut it out. But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Gina was in there unconscious, with the weapon in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom? That's right, Gov. That's right.
Couldn't have, even if I wanted to.
Back where we found it.
Hold it!
Okay. Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own weapon at Mr. Herlock's homes.
Oh, yeah, we was a bit hasty there.
We was, Nash, we was. Truth be told, was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded weapon in your hand. In your hand.
Good advice, miss, good advice.
Truth be told, me mind went totally blank.
Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded weapon in your hand.
Mental note made it. Mental note made this.
After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped the darbies on us like winking. Sound advice. Yep, very sound advice. And after you have been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct? Well, yeah.
But listen, that proves it, don't it? Eh?
Hold it!
And why should we believe that?
Eh? What? Well, 'cause it's true, ain't it?
The place was totally empty when we went in. At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a weapon to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these 2 witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbroking, Mr. Windybank. Correct? You got it, mister.
Down to a T.
So the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Windybank? Is that really true? I wonder. That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony?
What is it, Bruno? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired.
Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'd probably laugh. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something important. It is nothing more than a feeling, though. I got no proof to support it.
feelings can be very logical at times.
Sorry?
People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why. That's all.
Well, thanks, Iris.
I think you should trust your instincts.
Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. I'm just trying to think. I'm assuming it's the last statement. Or at least I would think. Let me... It's the same text. Okay, that doesn't tell me much. Yes. What, you have the answer? Is that what this is? When can the what? We got like 15 more minutes. Single. No, 15, not 50. 15. 15. 15. Very big difference. Very big difference. Holy moly. That's a big jump.
Hold it!
Let me... Okay, let me... From what class is the culprit? That's just... I was like, golly. There's something new. This is all the same. What does this mean? I'm, like I said, I'm looking at a guide because I'm generally like, what is it asking for? Oh, is it this one? Huh? Wait. Oh! Because he was shot in the back. Oh, that makes sense.
Objection!
Okay. I had to double check. I was like, huh? What are you talking about? It's like, oh. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windybank, was wielding a weapon. Is that correct?
That's it, Guff. You got the picture.
Yes. Nah, she has. No questions. I was generally like, I knew one of these statements was, like, the third one was interesting, but I'm like, what the heck is this meaning? What is with people? It's not cheating if I'm generally confused. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windybank was not holding a firearm of any description. You what?
Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windybank's weapon was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. But I'm not taking a test, and it is not for a GPA, so it is not cheating.
Yeah, that Muller Tooler used the victim's own weapon to finish him off. Give me that gun. Bam.
Kind of a thing.
Hold it!
Say exactly where you are, right there. Yeah. Is watching you to allow you to use your phone. My goodness. If the crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you acted out.
Goodness, are you sure, counsel?
You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that the demonstration this consistency in the witness portrayal of the victim's final moments? Where's this? Wouldn't it be this? Because if he was facing him, then why did Windybank fall backwards?
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Give me that weapon," followed by the gunshot.
Indeed, with two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe.
Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, if I could ask the court to study the photograph of the victim's body again, you can clearly see that Mr. Windybank was in fact shot from behind. Ah. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. I don't like it. It don't like it. It does not like it. No, the particular weapon of choice used in this murder. It don't like the use of the word this word. It doesn't like it. So I'm being very careful.
But it's God's one is truth.
It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night.
The shopkeeper had a weapon in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes.
I don't know about that specifically. That's the thing. I know the specific three-letter word, word it doesn't like. That one, I don't know. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windybank holding a weapon? Something like
That might have slipped out.
oh boy. So they did see him. Ladies and gentlemen, you've all just heard the admissions by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw, with their own eyes, the victim wielding a weapon. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, The Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
What?
Nash,
Ah!
Ooh. Order, order, order! Witnesses, explain yourself at once.
Well, the thing is, you weren't supposed to,
If you would, it would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. Yes, I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. It's fine. Weapon is fine to use, from my standing. Gosh.
Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies?
ever so sorry, Captain. Truth is, we,
Cut it out, Nash. Cut it out. If we blab now, you know what will happen to us. He? Who are they talking? Is it frickin' Magnus? Is Magnus involved? Somehow? Is this connected to that? Because that's connected in this case somehow? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you.
Bruv, come on, the game's up.
But he'll have our guts for garters. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Well,
Do we have to? On the pain of death, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth.
oh boy.
Encounter with the victim. Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug.
Give me the weapon, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we had him.
For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. Yeah, it really is.
I pulled me weapon on him, and then he legged it from that door into the back room.
It never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. So they literally were in a conflict with the victim. So now you're telling us that the moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Well, we find ourselves in an interesting conjecture.
This changes matters considerably.
But honest, Governor, this time.
This time, Nash, this time we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
No, I won't. It's just my brain is like, huh? It takes me a second to register what is being said. But it's okay. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for.
Finally!
Alright, let me just save real quick. Excuse me, sorry.
Hold it!
It's not been 15 minutes. When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windybank? It's, 5 more minutes. Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right.
Please keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one's gonna come out of the back room like that.
The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom?
Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been.
So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when Lee's brothers entered the premises.
Which means Jenny must have been in there at that point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windybank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, Then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you see the accused? Did you see the accused at that time? Oh, it will end in 4 minutes. What, the mole tooler? Couldn't tell you.
No way, Cobbler. We'd have bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
Alright.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windybank shouted those words in your previous testimony, too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Oh, did we?
But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he?
Well, yeah.
Was the victim, Mr. Windybank, wielding a weapon at the time?
Was he ever? Blimey lummy. A great ugly barrel he had, pointing straight at me from this piece.
So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Windybank with a weapon at that time, is that correct?
This guff it is. Spot on.
Spot on.
Then all of a sudden he came at us, we did.
It was Dillum. Bedlam. I don't know who was going for who. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it. I mean... strong as an ox. Yes, I know that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony, too. Well, yeah, of course we did.
He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot.
That got tangled in some marionette. What knocked over a picture frame. What knocked them scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock these things off the counter?
Well, big brother there went flying over the counter like gunshot, I tell you, but then the old geezer pinned him.
You did, Nash, you did. If you hadn't been there, Bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pancake in seconds. At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There is a button on the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Poor Mr. Windybank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
Well, yeah, it was his livelihood.
Hold it!
Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windybank?
Nah, never. I was just,
You holding it there?
looking out for me bruv, weren't I? He was up and flattened, don't forget.
By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your weapon at him, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shut himself in.
There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true.
I wonder why Mr. Windybank ran away into the storeroom.
What?
Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a weapon.
Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windybank's weapon to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the weapon end up in Mr. Windybank's hands again?
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This is a little inconsistent. This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it.
Look, the point is me and me bruv here.
That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me bruv here. Alright. Alright. I guess we'll stop here for the night and figure out next time how the Windybank ended up with a weapon in his hand when Gina had it. Well, I have to get up early for work tomorrow. I'm not gonna have a fun time. So, I'm gonna say this is an interesting point to stand at. I'm very curious to see where this goes. Lots of interesting things have happened today. So, Thank you guys for watching the stream, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! You too. Bye!